T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Just running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Got it in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a Thursday edition of YSN. This is not prime time. This is Power Hour. Power Hour. Thanks, Ash, for picking me up. I appreciate it. I don't know where I am right now. There hasn't been a whole lot of sleep, but I'll tell you what.
I think you're in Garrettsville.
We are in Garrettsville. We are at James A. Garfield High School in Garrettsville, Ohio. DJ Yoakley here, Billy McCartney joining me to my right, and the producer today, Quinn Pushkar. And as far as I know, we've got EB and Paul. Anybody else out there? That's it? Okay, cool. Quinn gives me the no.
And the G-men behind you.
The G-men. Oh, and by the way, Billy, I'm going to give him all the credit on this one because I thought the G-men was short for Giants, just like it is at the next level, right? It's at the NFL. Not the case. William, would you like to inform everybody about this? Because I would have felt like a complete ass asking Coach.
So basically, the G-man is short for FBI agents. That was the nickname that who was the guy that ran the FBI for years?
James A. Garfield?
No,
it was Edgar Hoover.
Edgar Hoover, yeah, Edgar Hoover.
J. Hoover.
He was the guy and nicknamed. He had
J. Edgar Hoover.
Sorry, Paul.
Would you say Edgar J?
Yeah. That's all good. It's all
Whatever.
the same. And he had a like a comic book TV show that was called the G-Men, and that was created.
What does the G stand for? Is it gotcha?
It's basically like Inspector Gadget. Like think of him like that. Like that's kind of what the mascot here looks like as the wind picks up.
My goodness.
Good thing we staked it down today.
Yeah, that thing would be probably back in La Brea by now.
But so basically they're just FBI.
So they're the gadget men.
Yes.
I still don't understand it. I'm
It's
lost.
just,
Anybody? Does anybody else understand
All
this?
right, here it is. You ready?
It's just a government man. It's
Yes.
they're
Government.
like a
Short for
government.
government man.
Like essentially before they became the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Good Lord, I'm talking like DJ right now. But like before they became that, because before J. Edgar or Edgar J. or Hoover J. Edgar created the FBI, whatnot. They were just government men because they didn't have a technical, I guess status. If you
Okay, so they're government men. That's
Yeah.
what that's the crux of it. Okay, I can
American
get
slang
behind
for
that.
agents in the FBI.
Gadget men was not getting me anywhere.
Well, I threw you off with the Inspector
You
Gadget
did
thing.
I'm sitting there. Inspector.
I'm just saying the mascot kind of looks like Inspector Gadget.
Okay, so the trench coat with the fedora.
Yep.
Okay, I can get behind that. So they're like government men,
Yes.
which is why they probably shortened it up to G-men.
You gotta
Nobody
remember
wants
this-
to be associated with
You
that
gotta
right
remember
now.
this area here was all created for the Ravenna Arsenal. So like Garrettsville is a product of the Ravenna Arsenal. Wyndham is the same thing. Wyndham had like you would say like frontline men, like foot soldiers. The entire town was built for World War II.
This is incredible. We're getting a little bit of a history lesson here, Q.
Yeah. If you go through Wyndham, like those little houses and those buildings are all like just like cookie cutter, and it was just like military base.
I did
houses,
notice that.
all those people.
Well, and I think the Arsenal or Ravenna's one of only like 2 or 3 places in the U.S. now that they can do live rounds.
They
Like
do live rounds, yeah, they do. They still practice with live rounds.
Can I shoot my bazooka out here? Like my lifelong?
You would not be allowed to by federal standards. The rule of the law is you cannot shoot a bazooka.
What if I was a G-man?
If you were a G-man, you're good because you're a government man.
Well, guess what? We're all G-men today. We're here at James A. Garfield High School here in Garrettsville. You can see the G-men practicing behind us. So cordial to roll out the red carpet for us today. Prime time starts at 5 o'clock. I'm sure we'll talk about more as we roll along today. But it's time for the national day that is. It is National Cocoa Nut Day. Cocoa nut. So my question to you guys is, what is the one thing, even if you don't like coconut, what is the one thing you can tolerate or the one thing that you love that has coconut in it? William?
I absolutely hate coconut. I can't stand anything about there's nothing I enjoy. The only thing that's weird is I like a pina colada.
I knew it.
I really like a pina colada, but I just ignore the coconut.
Do you like one pina colada or do you like two
Well,
pina
as
coladas?
my good friend from my good buddy Garth Brooks would say, those 2 pina coladas, 1 for each hand.
All right. Quincy?
I can't stand coconut either. The one that isn't those drinks that we have at HQ, aren't they like coconut water or something?
That
I don't
sounds
think so.
terrible.
I think
Coconut water.
they might be. I don't know, but I don't do anything coconut like at all.
Oh,
The-
you're talking
Whatever the drink is,
Like the
There's
brand.
armor.
yeah, body armor.
body
or
armor,
whatever.
yep.
It's like
Yeah,
coconut
it has
water.
coconut in
I
it.
drank one of those, and that was about the extent
You don't
of my
like it?
coconut. No, I don't do coconuts.
Don't like it. All right, EB, how about you?
Well, I just had some last night. Our good friend Nicole Ice over at Sundog Cellars, she has a cider on tap that is pineapple and coconut like mixed together. And dude, it is like the most refreshing summer drink. You don't even realize you're drinking a cider. Your wife would probably be under the table freaking drink out there. Had 2 or 3 of them, and then I had to obviously cut myself off because those things get a little dangerous.
100%. She's giggling right now.
No, that's probably my favorite thing with coconut. I mean, I can do coconut shrimp or some stuff like that here and there, but I'm not exactly like a huge fan. But that would be my go-to.
Paulie?
Yeah, I'm going to be the consensus with everybody. Coconut to me is disgusting. That shaved coconut, it's like pencil shavings. It's gross. But the flavor, I mean, pina coladas are great. Coconut lotion, the smell, like the smell of like coconut is as pleasurable. But yeah,
What?
yeah,
Somebody save clip.
yeah,
I know what he's saying though. Like it's like that island smell.
yeah. It's a
I
good
enjoy
smell.
the smell of it. I would never go on air saying that. though.
Pleasurable?
That's that
It's
would never.
pleasurable. It's appealing to my nostrils. Yes.
So
But no, the
like
taste-
around like Christmas time, they have like the 7-layer cookie.
Mhm.
The coconut is on top.
Sure
and
is.
like it's a big hit, especially like around my
Do
family.
you scrape?
I don't even touch it.
Really?
And my mother makes them, and she spends all day making all these cookies for Christmas. And you don't want any of these 7? Hell no. But you got the wrong one, woman.
I'm the only guy. I think I'm the only person here that is all in on coconut. The only thing that I will not do, and this tricked me because I was all excited when we headed down to Jamaica for our honeymoon to have actual coconut juice, like where they tap it, they throw the straw in, and you drink it. Tasted like straight piss. Like it's warm. They don't chill it. They just throw the straw in there, and it is warm. Did not like it one iota. Thought it was gonna be this. Thought it was gonna taste like a pina colada. Wrong again.
I would never do that unless I was stranded on an island and had.
Well, yeah, then you do it. But I heard that there's a difference between coconut water, like that's actually coming, or the coconut juice, and coconut milk, which I haven't tried coconut milk yet. I don't even know if you can drink that straight up.
I don't know. Kate gets all these weird things like coconut milk and almond. They all stink.
Yeah. So I do. I mean, I think EV said coconut shrimp. That's legit. I like that. I like coconut. Like the what's it? Mounds and almond joy. Like I like that stuff. It has a little bit of coconut in the and I don't even like chocolate that much. But pina colada is where it's at. And I think I said it before on the show. It's called a Jamaican smile. So it's the strawberry daiquiri, pina colada, and on top you have Jamaican rum cream, which is just a little bit different than what's the milky chocolate stuff. You know what I'm talking about? The Kahlua or whatever it is, the
Oh yeah, that would be. I think that's
like
cool.
mudslide almost
Yeah.
kind of deal on top, and that's unbelievable.
I thought you were on like mousse or something.
I don't know what it's called. It's not Kahlua. It's
Mousse.
It's not Bailey's. Is it?
Bailey's. That's what it is. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's Bailey's on top, and that's a Jamaican smile.
Sorry, DJ, never gonna be on top of you, bud. We just don't go that way, bud. But
This got unhinged quick.
yeah.
That was my pleasure.
Well, fun fact: the coconut water you speak of.
Oh, I'm gonna fall out of this chair.
Also, so that's gonna do your National Day. Happy Coconut Day to everybody out there, whether you like them or you don't. Enjoy. Would you rather? And what was our? This one is a little bit dark, but I think it's a good one. It's would you rather lose your sight for the rest of your days or lose your memory? Lose your sight or lose your memory. And that's brought to you by Baird Brothers. Would you rather? Visit them on the web at bairdbrothers.com. All right. Would you rather lose your sight or your memory?
Let's go memory. I gotta see where I'm going. I'd be walking into damn walls everywhere. And I'd be getting bruised up, and I'd walk in around places like broken nose.
Okay,
and,
I stole my toe again.
oh yeah. So like memory. I mean, I forgot where are my car keys. I'd rather do that.
Q?
Yeah, memory 100%. I mean, just looking at who I would have to guide me, it'd be like Jeff or Billy, and that's just not going to go over well. Plus, I'm a Browns fan, so I'd like to forget the last 30 years.
There it
That's
is.
a fair point.
That's dynamite.
That is a fair point.
EBU.
Well, first of all, if Billy lost his sight, he couldn't chase bats. So that's like that loses entertainment value for us. But dude, I'm with them. Probably memory. Like I feel like I probably self-inflict that to myself on most weekends, anyways. So what's a few more days?
Paul?
Man, that's tough because, I mean, if oh my gosh, I'd have to say sight. I know that sounds really crazy, but I mean, if you can't see, but you still know what's going on, that's okay. But if you can't remember, and you walk and you meet people, be like, hey, what's up? And they'll be like, hey, it's me, Fred. Who the hell are you? You know what I mean?
You do that anyway.
True that.
Billy
Who's
Kate
that
wants
guy?
you to lose your sight.
Yeah, Kate said I'd rather he lost his sight.
Of course you would.
And she said
Why?
she only gets dark chocolate almond milk, and that it's delicious. So.
Yeah, mine would be sight. I'd lose my sight. I've seen enough in my lifetime now. I'm okay.
I think I'm on the boat with everybody else with the memory thing. Like, I guess you can always reintroduce yourself, and there's enough people that have bad memories already, myself being one of them, that, I mean, I'm almost there. So, like, if I lose my sight, I'm screwed.
Plus, it'd be like living the world all over again every day. It'd be like that movie. What was that movie? 50 First Dates.
Yeah, it was 50 with
Tom?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it'd be like living every day. the
Hi,
same-
I'm Tom.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I know Tom. We just met.
Who is this weirdo Jeff Bezos? Who is this guy?
Oh, can you imagine the joy of just meeting Jeff over and over again now? Just the absolute joy of, because he would get so pissed off.
My name's Jeff Bezos, damn it.
Who is this guy? Why do they keep asking my name? That would be, I mean, unfortunate for you, but joyful for everybody else, because it would be awesome. I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
I hate him.
Keep away from me. I hate him, Billy. I hate him. That is your Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers. Visit them on the web at bairdbrothers.com or in Canfield. Is it Cortland? Cortland? What's the road they're on?
Corey
Road. Corey Road in Canfield.
I think about that. It's right down the street.
Thank you very much. All right. Hey, we got some breaking news earlier today. Oh, that's it. I thought I got a
You
beat
just
or
wanted to
something.
make a noise, didn't you?
I did.
My own So we breaking news today. Austin Town Fitch game canceled against Glen Oak. Glen Oak had a COVID-19 restriction, so that game is no longer up. But one of our YSN people asked the question, who should Austin Town Fitch play? Should they go find an opponent for week 3? Basically, now they're off. Or should they stand pat and try to – I mean, I don't even know their injury status, but, I mean, they could always use a healthy week, right? After a slobber knocker of a game last week and then the week prior against Cheney, you got to believe that, you know, you could kind of use a week to heal your wounds at this point. Not exactly ideal for a week 3 bye week.
Bishop
But-
Sycamore.
Son of a bastard.
Was waiting for it.
All right. See you guys later.
So maybe somebody texted Coach Parker that, and he's probably not pleased with me right now for sending him that suggestion. But honestly, like Paul, you joke. Tell me there wouldn't be a ton of people watching that game.
Now it's just a novelty. Now you're just like, hey, this would be great.
I mean, you're going to beat them by 50. That's almost a guarantee, right?
53.
So who should Fitch play, if anybody? Is there anybody out there? I mean, there was one suggestion. Kirtland's now off this week. Would Kirtland want to play Austin Town Fitch and vice versa? You say no.
No, I say that's just a bad idea. It's a no win for really anybody. I mean, maybe for Kirtland, but I mean, their schedule is going to be fine enough to get into the playoffs. It's not like they're a tweener team. They're
Man,
like, hey, beat Fitch, they're in the
listen
playoffs.
to Billy backpedaling over there.
For Fitch, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why play him? You're D1
Huh,
school.
why play a game in your bye week? That's stupid. You play a game in your bye week. You got to play. Jeez.
They're D2 playing a D6 team. What's the point of that?
Kirtland's D5.
Whatever. There's no point.
What is there? I mean, in that game though, Paul, what is there to win?
And you're comparing something that was a bye from Monday. This is Thursday already. They just got notified today. So tomorrow they're supposed to play a game. Now they're not. So what you're saying is asinine.
Turn the page. It's Thursday.
Yes.
I don't think that'd be a bad, though, because Kirtland already plays a bunch of D2 and D3 schools as it is. I mean, the only bad thing is you can't scout and really prep. But, you know, it's not like Kirtland is a pushover either. You know, they field a pretty good team. They have like a 57 game or 63, you know, regular season win streak. So I don't think it would be terrible. I don't think it would ever come together, but you would have two great fan bases, no matter where you have it, so people are going to travel for it, but it would be I would think would be a pretty good game nonetheless.
I think it would be at Austintown. So Fitch only had 4 home games coming into this season to speak of. This was one of their road games, obviously. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but does Kirtland play at Mentor?
No,
They
Here's
don't.
Kirtland's schedule. They're home, West Geauga. Then they play at Geneva, Chagrin Falls, Perry, Lakeside, Edgewood, and Orange.
Yeah, there's no way a D5 would play one of the best teams in the state.
So,
Where they get kids from.
well, every time I've seen Kirtland play, they play at Mentor, but it's always been in the playoffs.
I think the school's located 5 minutes from Mentor.
Yeah.
But they have their own field.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to Kirtland's Field, dude, it's
Isn't it like the grass patch of land?
it's rough. It might be one of those things like they might play at Mentor because their stands might honestly be condemned.
Paul, you know anything about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, reason for Austintown Fitch to play a team like Kirtland?
There is none.
What team would have to come along for at this point in the 11th hour with a game it would have to be a team that is so big. Hoover?
There's absolutely nobody on a Thursday. Zero.
Yeah, there's nobody on a Thursday, but there's a team that canceled.
Who?
Dover could play them. They just played Canfield.
Dover would get pumped.
They just beat Canfield last week.
I'm just saying. I think
I don't
Fitch
know.
is a different level.
Dover's impressive. It's an impressive team.
It would have to be a Saturday game though, because now you at least get a day or two to prep your kids.
That's not. Who was it?
That's still not enough.
Was it week 1 or week 2 that we saw a team come in? Southern got it, or no?
Somebody did.
Week 1. I think it was week 1.
Who got a?
I'm
Who
trying to
got a
think who it
team?
was.
All these weeks are starting to
I
flow
think it was
together
week
already.
1 though.
This is why I'll lose my memory. I'll keep it my sight. But it was 24 hours.
Toronto.
Yes.
It was Toronto.
Toronto, they played
Coach Sano was
Orange.
supposed to go down there.
They played
Or
Orange.
Was talking about going down there.
And they went up and they won. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Fitch could still find a game. Now, do they want to? I mean, this was supposed to be, and the coach's corner will come out later tonight. But I'll tell you this is they were looking at this like a trap game.
Yeah.
I mean, this could have been an easy trap game for Austintown Fitch, and that's how Coach Parker was explaining to it. It's the exact terminology that he was talking to the Falcons about. Is Canton Glen Oak is a team that, listen, if you overlook them, because they play Ursuline next week. Let's not forget. That's a team. Ursuline wants Fitch bad. Every single media outlet, every time they're on, we want Fitch. We want Fitch. Well, Fitch is going to start looking down the schedule and say, hey, we got Ursuline coming up. Glen Oak says, go get him.
They might need to practice. Just start prepping for Ursuline, that offense.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm interested with Ursuline. I really am.
I am too.
Especially this week. They play Chardon. I'm very impressed with Chardon from last year, and they return a lot from that team.
Okay.
Plus, they're D2.
Okay.
Okay. You and your Ursuline fandom.
No, I mean, I'm going to pick
realistic,
them tomorrow.
So am I, but I'm just Chardon's probably one of their better teams that they played this year. I'm excited to see.
Paul, is there any team that you think Fitch could play and would help them? Not that they need help getting in the playoffs at this point, but from a 9-game schedule, it could be tough. It could come down to computer points.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to challenge yourself and go find somebody, great. But, I mean, I think they're in a good spot where they could just say, listen, we've got 9 games. We should be okay and not have to worry about it too much. I mean, unlike some other schools that have lost 2, sometimes, there could be a school out there that already has their 3 games behind. They're not going to play this week. So, that's tough.
It's Latonia, correct? Latonia's
in that situation. Wellsville hasn't played yet.
This will be their first week.
Mm-hmm.
But Latonia's still not having a game this week, right? Because
I haven't heard anything about it.
I believe. I mean, that game was scratched off. That's why we have 2 announcers going to a different spot, right, Paul?
Yeah, and Fitch is in the they're sitting in the 6th spot right now in the playoffs if the playoffs would start. So they're 2-0. I think they'll be fine. They're going to stay in the top 16 and not have to worry about it. Their schedule is still a good schedule.
But the top 8 get now. How this works? One plays 16, right? There's no buys.
No buys. One plays
Okay,
16.
so
Your top 8 get a home game.
If you drop out of that top 8, you're on the road week 11.
And you need to only play 5 games, right?
Correct.
So does every game count, or is it just like, hey, your top 5 games?
Yeah, every game counts.
Five best
Every game that
wins.
you play.
It's just they have an adjuster in there. So if you've played 9 games, they'll still go by your computer point rankings. So I mean, they've still got. I mean, they got Ursuline, Mooney, Mousen, Washington, Canfield, Boardman, Harding, and Wadsworth. I mean, they still got a good schedule.
Right.
They can go out there and play and not have to pick somebody up this week.
How's Wadsworth? I mean, I don't even know where it is.
They're okay.
They're 1-1 right now.
They're okay.
So their schedule lines up. It's a grind.
Right
But again,
now, ITEL has them playing Harding at home for the first round if it was today.
if it ended today,
Yes.
as what 6 versus
11.
Rematch.
that would be and that'll change because they play week 10.
Yeah, they play each other. Yeah.
Don't like that.
Can you imagine going in? Can you imagine playing back-to-back weeks against the same team in high school football?
What's happened? I think didn't that
It's going to happen.
No, I
think
can't.
it happened
I
last
can't
year,
imagine
didn't
playing a week 17 against the team and resting your starters and then trying to go into the playoffs at home. I can't imagine that, Billy. Why would you bring that up?
My bad.
Wait till our starters come back, they said. It'll be fun, they said. 28-0.
My bad.
Anyway, all right. So, general consensus, Fitch, just chill.
Yep.
Put your feet up a little bit. Watch some YSN on Friday night. Get out to a ball game and scout a little bit. Because who do they have? They have Ursuline. Oh, they're going to that Ursuline game. They're going to that Ursuline game. Bet your bucks they're going to that Ursuline game.
They should absolutely 100% go and just grab a notebook or an iPad.
Live scouting at Ursuline. More news. We did want to tell you about a programming note for tomorrow night. The Boardman game, as they take on Massillon Jackson, will not be available on YSN. We will have a link for you to go over to, I think it's gopolarbears.com or something like that. There is a charge. It's an $8 charge, I believe it is, for the stream. That's what they do.
Polar
They
bear
charge
fell
it.
on me.
What?
A polar bear fell on me. Roadhouse. Sorry for all you guys who don't know.
Roadhouse.
Anyway, Boardman fans, we apologize for the inconvenience. We did everything we could, and we're subject to the school policies and things of that nature. But we will have a link on our website on the Boardman page that if you want to go over to and watch the game for the $8 fee, you're more than welcome to. So we want to make sure that you still have options to watch the Spartans play tomorrow night against the Polar Bears, and you'll have that on ysnlive.com/Boardman. But unfortunately, we will not be able to be there. They've got, tape delay as well. So it's a big game for Massillon Jackson. You can tell, Paul. But you and I kind of shrugged and said we did everything we could.
Yeah, we had everything set up. They didn't realize what we did, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, we have our own streaming, so that's okay." They just don't have us, but that's maybe one day they will.
I think we're ready for a break, right? 3:30 ish.
3:29.
Go ahead and take us to.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Power Hour, brought to you by our great sponsors down there. Make sure you flip the sponsor thing, Quinn, whenever you have a chance. DJ Yoakley here, Billy McCartney, Quinn Pushkar. We've got EB. We've got Paul Munson back at their. I think they're at home. I'm guessing EB's at home, and Paul, you're at home, right?
Yep.
Flying blind, baby. Flying blind. All I see is James A. Garfield High School right to the front of us, and behind us, the football team that will take on Warren JFK maybe a little bit, a couple hours from now, 26 hours from now or so, at Mollenkopf Stadium. So this is going to be interesting, guys, because two teams with a lot on the line. And you talked about Garfield being one of those teams that very physical team by nature, has a lot of rivalries around here. We talked to Jim, the athletic director, before we came on the show. Crestwood and Wyndham, the biggest rivals in this area, but they said, listen, we love seeing LeBray. They're not far from here. We love seeing LeBray, and we think that's the team that is lined up for them in the playoffs, and they're looking forward to it.
Next week, they got two big ones in a row.
Correct.
So you got Kennedy here, and then at LeBray next week too.
This baby is going to fly. Is 10. Good idea on paper. Bad idea in the wind. Bad idea. Yeah, I'm with you. And Kennedy is a team that I picked to go far. In fact, almost. I mean, I said they'd win the championship at D7 this year. I think they're that strong, but I think they're still going to get fits from Garfield behind this here, the G-men.
It's a different type of team that they're going to play. I don't know if Kennedy has a harder regular season game this year than Garrettsville. Garrettsville will kind of, for people who are not familiar with them, is think South Range. Like, they're physical, they're going to run the football, they're going to pound it, and they're going to keep coming at you over and over and over again. I mean, so far this year, I think South Range is to me, the most physical team in our network, and probably right behind them is going to be Garrettsville.
Yeah, and right behind them.
Each other.
Yeah.
South Range and Garrettsville Garfield?
Yeah.
What week is that?
They no, I mean, they don't play each other this year. They have played each other. They played each other in the playoffs a handful of years ago.
Was that D6?
South Range was a 1 seed. Garrettsville was the 8 seed, and and they came in there and they beat South Range last game in the old stadium. They was an 8 beating a 1, and Garrettsville came in there and they were supposed to be a big heavy run team, and they passed all over the place and walked away with that game. I mean, it was, like I said, the last game on that field was a loss to Garrettsville, and they're in the same division this year, so they can see each other in the playoffs.
I mean, Garfield has been in the Portage Trail, so they've played teams that were much bigger than them for a lot of time. That's why the MVAC is now, they're very new to the MVAC, is a great fit for them. They're playing schools their own size now, and their kids are accustomed to playing up. So playing in a Kennedy is nothing really new, even though they're a smaller school. But just the statute of JFK, a lot of teams get afraid of like the Moonies, the Ursulines, and the Kennedys for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of the success and the history that they have. But Garrettsville, they don't care.
Why is that? I've never been able to figure out why nobody is quote unquote afraid of JFK, even though they continue to show up and show out every single week. Why are they not a feared football team or a feared team in general?
No, I think they are. I think a lot of schools feel that way. A lot of kids around the area, they want to play the better teams. It just so happens that, like, when you see that K on the side of the helmet, it's like, hey, this is a real deal. It's a big game.
Yeah.
You know, and the history will.
The only negative is that they're D7. I think that's why people overlook them. It's because they're D7.
Well, I think they overlook them. I mean, I've seen big D7 teams, right? There's schools where they're D7, but everybody comes out for football, right?
Right.
At JFK, their numbers are small, right? When you see them line up in the playoffs against these other D7 teams, you go, wait a minute,
quality over quantity.
How is that a D7? No, I'm not knocking JFK at all.
No,
I don't want,
absolutely.
but I want you, like, I'm just trying to figure it out, because I feel like every time we go into it, like, we walk in and we do our announcing, we put down our laptops, we start setting up, and people go, oh, JFK, they got 11 guys. Yeah, they got a state championship. How's that going for you?
I would have to go with Quinn. It has to be because they're D7. Like, I just don't think people put a lot of weight into like programs in D7, but also, and unless if you're someone or some of these coaches, like I think a lot of coaches would be like, hey, JFK's coming, dude, they're gonna bring it. But like common fans, they just think, oh, well, it's just a D7 team.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like, I feel like even D7 programs go, oh, okay, well, it's JFK, we got a shot against them. But you don't. Like, they're gonna beat you by 45.
It's just the negative connotation of the Division 7. Because, I mean, we've seen teams that are under 500 make the playoffs in Division 7.
But if a team as successful as JFK has been across the board in their programs, if it were Canfield or Fitch or Ursula, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I feel like people would be intimidated to be like, we're not touching them.
I mean,
no
it's
way.
a little bit of the Division 7 thing. And, I mean, to the casual fan, you think of Warren, you think of Harding. You don't think of JFK. Just because you think of Harding, because it's bigger. To the common fan.
I think it's because area, like, can I throw a theory out there? I think it's because they're not arrogant. You know what I mean? They don't tell you about it. They just do it.
That's not really my experience with JFK.
Yeah.
I mean, I played Kennedy.
I know some people from Kennedy that talk about it.
When I played high school, we always played JFK.
Right.
And it was a battle, man. And we didn't like each other. We weren't fans of each other, and they knew it, and they let us know, and we let them know.
You weren't fans of anybody in high
I hated
school.
every single person I ever played against in football. Like, it was like a hate.
Still do.
I'll have to find. I used to have these scouting reports, and I would name like the 3 players that would touch the ball, and I would give them nicknames, and like I would just I was.
Did you write those? Did you write these nicknames down?
You were evil.
Yeah, like on paper.
I want to see them.
And like, well, I probably couldn't show it on the air, but and like our coaches would find it, and like it was yeah, we weren't fans of each other. Put it to you that way.
I think South Range has a little bit of that too. That people see South Range and they're just like, okay, it's South Range, and I think South Range takes that personally, just like JFK does. Paul, do you feel the same way that people overlook some teams like JFK and South Range? You don't feel South Range?
No.
Oh, Paul's not there? Okay.
I don't know where Paul went.
Bye, Paul.
I do feel that way, and I don't know if it's just a small school vibe or not, but I mean, because there's so many. We're mostly in Northeast Ohio. We're mostly small schools, so it's not like
We're all small schools.
Yeah, I mean,
we got 2 or 3 that aren't.
Well, I mean, I guess you could consider like Canfield, Boardman, Fitch.
Those are the only ones that
would
are
be
twos.
Yeah, what would be considered big schools?
Yeah.
But like everybody else is for the most part like in that D4 to D6 range. You know, and then you sprinkle in a couple of D7s. And I'm not sure why, but teams kind of overlook South Range, but they come and they just punch you right in the mouth.
Yep.
I just, especially the last few years, I really do enjoy watching them play as much as like I just want to come back to the network, the headquarters, and just shove it up Paul's behind. But I was so mad when
Make sure we
Springfield
clip
lost.
that up. Somebody clip that one.
I was so
Kate.
mad when Springfield lost because I just wanted to come in there and just be like, Paul, you got one. But it didn't happen.
Let's flip this question on its side. A team out there that seemingly everybody goes, ooh, like who's the team that you hear their name and you don't want anything to do with it from if you were on the opposing sidelines? EB, let's start with you.
In football or like any sport?
Let's go football. But you can include any sport if you feel like.
I mean, football, the one that you just kind of hear. I mean, I feel like it's tough because you always have like Ursuline and Mooney as the top ones. Around here, I mean, coming from Columbiana, I always felt that that was South Range. Like you said, like people don't really think of them like that, but playing at Columbiana, like when you played South Range, you knew what you were getting into. Like it was gonna be physical. They hit hard. Like they're gonna. Well, when we play, I know Coach Eagley does a little bit more now, but look, they were going to run the wing tee to perfection. Like they were going to buck trap and buck sweep the shit out of you, and you weren't going to stop it no matter you read the guards or not. That's my personal experience. I think now it's almost like Fitch. Like you play Fitch, you know what you're getting into, and it's just going to be, hey, good luck.
Billy?
I mean, Eric just talked about it at the beginning. I think the two schools the most that people have that little fear factor is Ursuline and Mooney. And it doesn't really matter. Like Mooney's not having such a great year to start this year, but like just their name alone, you're playing Mooney. I mean,
you still got to get up for it.
Think about how difficult that game was with Hubbard. Hubbard. And then when Coach Reardon came back, it was just a matter of time. It was a matter of time. Everybody knew it. And I was in there with coaching baseball, and we heard Coach Reardon coming in. I was there right before he came in, and Coach Reardon came back, and it was like, well, we're gonna be getting a lot of new baseball guys because Coach Reardon is gonna start bringing this team back to football wise, and hopefully we get some dual sport players. And at 2 years, and boom, there they are, and almost in the regionals there. So
Q.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Ursuline, because that was the first one I thought of. I mean, it was, for the past couple of years, it was Springfield. I thought Springfield was one of those teams that you don't want to mess with. This year they're down a little bit, but I mean, I think right now South Range is a team I wouldn't want to mess with if I had to pick one.
Everybody's saying Springfield's down, and like
down from there.
They were the darling for the last 2 years, right? And I think that when you're the media darling like that, you get all that attention and people surround you. Listen, we're not counting out Springfield at all. Springfield, I think, is going to still be there whenever it counts.
I mean, when you're the big dog, you're getting everybody's best.
Yep.
That's kind of the thing. Are they down?
Well, they're just in the situation now. It's early in the season, and they're trying to figure out how to replace some of the key pieces from last year.
Right.
I mean, they're trying to replace the line.
I mean, to me, like, listen, they got one of the best players in the entire area.
Country.
In the entire
state.
Right in the entire state, yeah.
Bo's the real deal.
Yep.
And he's figuring out, trusting some other guys and whatnot to help him and to win football games over there. And, like again, they got Brookfield's best. They got South Range best. Mind you, two teams that were in the playoffs last year and made a pretty good run. It wasn't like, hey, everybody's in the playoffs, but like at the end of the day, like they all won a game or two.
See, bring in Palestine, you're getting our best bunch. No, I'm with you, but I feel like everybody's kind of dropped off on Springfield, and not that I feel bad for them, but
they won like 4 years in a row. They didn't lose a regular season.
Listen,
game.
If you're Sean, you're taking all of these negative blurbs and you're putting them all over. Like you're hanging them at the Tiger table. You're putting them on your bulletin board. You're making sure your guys know that they are being disrespected, because this team can be just as good, if not better, than the last two teams that they put on the field in December. So
this is going to be tomorrow night for them. Is going to be
big.
Fireworks.
Big.
They're going to light it up over there.
Yeah, it's going to be big. When we talk about teams that you kind of get nervous about and they give you the chills, a team that right now, especially football-wise, is LeBray. LeBray makes me nervous, man. And like, that is a punch you in the face. Don't care how many points we score. Like, I got to talk to Andy Hake the other day at Valley, and he said, listen, we made mistakes, no doubt about it, but LeBray is tough. They are tough. And they showed up on Friday night, or Saturday night, rather, and they absolutely flexed. And they said, hey, everybody else be on notice. Coach Armini's the real deal. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's so energetic. It kind of reminds me of Coach Hake a little bit when he had a lot of success over there at Western Reserve. And, that LeBray team, offensively, they have no problems. They can throw the ball down the field. They can spread it out. They can run the football. Obviously, they have the three-headed monster and with Trayvon Drake and Devin Carter and Aiden Stevens. And then you go on the defensive side. They were super young last year. Can they figure out a way to stop the run? And so far this year, they've done a pretty good job. Now, I will say they didn't like giving up 21 points.
No. But that's a fast team too.
It is a fast team. And a year ago, they scored a lot of points.
Yep.
But I think kind of like we talked about South Range, like, hey, they got a huge lead. It was 38-0 at some point, or 35-0.
What the hell was that?
It's my dog. Sorry.
It was like 33 or 35-0, and you could just see the LeBray guys just kind of tapping out. Some new guys got in there, got an opportunity. Not that they scored on their second team, that wasn't really the case, but you kind of let up a little bit when you have a big lead like that.
Is Paul back?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, Paul. Hey, who's your team that intimidates you? Like you don't want to play if you had a team in the area, you were a head coach. What's the team that you're just like, I don't want anything to do with that team?
I mean, for years past, I mean, I remember, obviously being as tightly connected to South Range as I am. Ursuline was one of those teams. You just hated playing them, because they got the athletes, and they'd play up all year, and then you'd sit there and but they're playing in a D5 playoff. You're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? You're playing all these D1, D2 schools all year, and then you got to come play D5 schools, and it was just one of those things. You're like, man, we just can't get over this hump with these guys. And that was one of those schools that you just were like, crap, we got to play them, because it's just the way the schedule worked out, I mean, and, to get back to what you guys are saying there too about Springfield, I think they're going to be fine. I think their first couple games of the season were going to be tough, and there were going to be some bumps along the way because, like Quinn said, they lost a lot of skill guys from last year. So when you lose the 2, 3, 4 big skill guys that they had last year that were Bo's weapons, now it's the Bo show, and Bo's got to start learning to, can he trust Gardner? Can he trust some of these other guys and make plays happen? And that's what I think these first 3 games of the season were going to be for them. When they get into league play, I think they're going to be fine. There'll be a team or two that's going to give them a little run for their money. But, I mean, Bo's still a tough-ass kid to try to stop. And not many teams are going to be able to do that on a consistent basis. So I think they're going to be fine. And they're one of those – I guarantee you, ask anybody in the MVAC, do you want to go play Springfield right now? They're going to say no.
So let me ask you this. Who's a more interesting team right now, given their situation? Is it Springfield or is it Canfield? Canfield coming off a loss last week, at the last second loss. Springfield obviously coming off a loss in week 1 and a tough matchup in week 2 against Brookfield. Who's the more interesting team right now to watch the rest of the season?
I think it's Springfield. In my opinion, I think it's Springfield because they had not only did they come off a loss week 1, they had to come from behind week 2. I mean, they were down. I mean, with 4 minutes to go, they had to score 2 or 3 times to win that game. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do against Geneva. And Eric's going to have that game to call and see what they do and how, if they come out from the word go and just hammer and just, hey, we're going to get a lead, we're going to keep this lead, and we're going to go, and this is going to propel us into league play and go from there. I mean, Canfield, that was a heartbreaker for them, but they were there the whole time. I mean, the kid's foot probably still in bounds right now. So, I mean,
I will say this. I talked to Pav. We talked to Pav on Wednesday. He said he was out by a foot. He was legitimately out of bounds. So Pav
Well,
said
there you go.
Tony Toe Tap, man. Tony Toe Tap. EB, well, Canfield, Springfield. Who's more interesting to watch the next 7 weeks?
I mean, I want to say Springfield's going to be more interesting to watch tomorrow, but I feel once they get into league play, they're going to be fine. And I'm not slighting, the MVAC, but they've just been head and shoulders above everyone else, not only last year or the year before that, but like the past 3 or 4 years, really. Go the last 4. It's like I'm gonna go Canfield because that team that they had last year, was so stout on defense, and then they hit you multiple different ways, offensively with how they ran the ball and whatnot. And I just feel like Canfield has a couple people that they're still searching for an identity for, like who's really going to step up. Everyone knows what Lowry can do, but how many teams are going to put a spy on him or really, really try to pressure him? They're kind of like blueprints of each other almost. I'm just going to go Canfield just to offset Paul because Paul really hit a lot of the points that I would have said though too. Canfield just because, it's a heartbreaker, but those were the games last year that Canfield actually won, where they won and closed out those games where they made those plays. So I feel like playing some of the teams that they'll end up playing, I'm going to go Canfield with it.
Billy?
Just by the schedule alone, I think it's Canfield. I think there's an opportunity. 3 or 4 games are going to be really close. Canfield coming, they got Fitch is on their schedule and whatnot, and some of the league games for Canfield is going to be really tough and challenging.
Canfield doesn't have a league. They're independent.
Whatever, their schedule, I'll deal with that. So with Springfield, again, they got one of the best players in the entire valley. I think they're going to just lean on them, and I think they're going to roll Geneva.
I think they're going to be fine.
I think they're going to roll Geneva, and then I'm be looking. The only interesting matchup I'm looking forward to seeing with Springfield is against Sebring. Outside of that, I see them kind of on a cakewalk.
Lowville will be a good one.
Not worried about that. Bo knows. Okay, Bo knows.
I think that's going to be a hell of a game.
Bo knows.
Think about that offense. Are they still lighting fireworks off in Springfield every time they score a touchdown?
Probably. I got to imagine, right?
I mean, that's going to be you thought Ursuline, that 62-point game was good? Balone and Bo. Bo-Lone. That's the name of the game. The Bo-Lone Bowl.
That's next week.
Quinn.
Canfield. I think they have, like Billy said, schedule since he stole it from me, but I'm looking at it. So
stole it from you, but
they did. I'm looking at it.
He went first.
I mean, Cleveland JFK this week, they're fast. They get New Philly right after it. They play Fitch and Boardman later on in the year. Like, there's a lot of games right there that you can toss up.
Who's the in between? Go over their schedule real quick.
So this week you get Cleveland JFK. Next week you're on the road against New Philly. Then you're home to Cheney, home to Pleasant, home to Fitch, home to East, at Howland, at Boardman.
See, the at Howland one is interesting.
That's very interesting.
Only because that's going to be a game for Howland that they're probably going to have to win that game to get into the playoffs to sneak in.
Yes, absolutely.
And if they don't win that game, they'll be out.
I don't know about that.
And
I think that's the fringe
is all
game.
This area, like New Philly's in their region, Cheney's in their region, East is in their region, Howland's in their region, all with Canfield.
I don't think Canfield's going to overlook anybody, but I think that schedule
never.
right there, as you guys both talked about and addressed, I think that just makes it more interesting because
there's a lot of games that are toss-up games.
Springfield knows exactly what they have the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. They know what they're up against, and they know how to game plan.
Yeah.
Coach
Well,
Guerrero,
they open up league play, like I said, next week with Louisville.
Yeah,
you get the top shelf right out the gate. And
that's the thing, Paul. But Coach Guerrero is going to be able to close his eyes and know exactly what's going on in the field.
And you're talking about a team that knows how to win important games, not just games in general, important games, and have been around that system for a long time. So Springfield will be ready for that game. It's going to be that week is going to be more about will withstand that first quarter and keep the pace up with the rest of it.
Now, I don't want to let anything out of the bag, but Coach Seidel thinks that he's got a little something for Springfield later on this season.
I thought that was Louisville.
I got all the yeah. That was
Coach
Louisville.
has something up
No,
his
no,
sleeve
no, no. He
for
said
every
he
game.
said well, he said Springfield too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he said Louisville, but
He's
Coach Seidel
prepared for everybody.
He's
I
prepared for
promise.
everybody. There's no doubt.
He's ready to go whale hunting with tartar sauce in his pocket. So that's why we love him. All right, Quinn, hit the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? It is go time for the Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Brought to you by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything residential, anything electrical. Need to visit our friends and proud partners of YSN over at Joe Dickey Electric. William, what's your spark today?
Well, I mean, I try not to be like Jeff, but like I'm excited to be out here in Garrettsville. This is like stomping grounds. You know, my father's an alumni here.
Yeah.
It's really cool that the Garrettsville is finally the Garfield G-men are finally a part of YSN, and it's just this is a cool area, and I'm so excited that we're expanding out here to Portage County, and big things are coming. So that's gonna be my spark.
Cute.
I mean, Billy just took mine, so I'm going to kind of spin it a little bit. I mean, come on now. We're here. We're watching.
He stole
this.
it again. He stole it.
My spark's going out to that coach in the end zone right there with a fantastic mullet.
He does. He's
It's
got a
fantastic.
fantastic. Hey, Joe Dirt.
Yeah, like
Joe
that
Dirt.
is the second coming of Joe Dirt right there.
Love it.
And it is incredible.
Well,
That's what Jeff should have.
We'll
Jeff
love
should
it.
have.
Jeff's dad would beat his ass.
Jeff would have a
if he
skull.
grew a mullet.
He'd have a
I
skull.
promise.
Can you imagine the mullet with the mustache?
If you can house Jeff, he will have it.
He would look like a redneck Hulk Hogan. Is what he would.
And then he just drew the handlebars on there and said, "Screw it, I'm all in. Give my past blue ribbon."
Beatles Mania, bitch. All right, EB, what do you have?
I guess it's a negative spark, maybe on myself. The other week, maybe had a couple too many adult beverages and ordered this nice Outer Banks Pogue Life Barstool shirt for way more than what it's ever freaking worth, man. But they sent me a sticker with it, so hey, I'll take it.
What, the Viva La Stool sticker?
Yeah,
My God, it says Pug Life?
Pogue Life. If you've ever seen the Netflix show Outer Banks, that's what it's from. And
Okay.
don't ask me why I got it, but it looked cool at the time, and whatever.
We still appreciate you.
Yeah.
Kate also said it's Billy's mom's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Billy's mom.
It is Mother Teresa.
Way to comment on that one, Billy.
Yeah, that one slipped through your fingers, huh?
No, I mean I'm going there in a little bit after here. I'm right. My parents live right down the road here.
You gotta give her love, though.
Way to be a positive spark.
Happy
on that
birthday,
one.
Mother Teresa.
There it is. Do you want to sing?
9.
Paul, go ahead.
Mine's a positive spark. Mine is, I'm going to be leaving here soon to come join you guys. And then I have another venue to be at later on this evening too. So just spreading the wealth today. Gonna, plaster this lovely face all over the place in the next.
Do you want to plug it? Do you want to plug it? Go ahead. I'll let
5
you plug
hours. The MLO Bros have invited me onto their show. I was doing I did Isaac's wedding last week, and they invited me to come on to talk about, my DJ business and, some other ventures that I'm involved in, maybe YSN. We'll have to see. And so it should be a fun time.
So make sure you tune in tonight, 8:30, right, Paul?
Yep.
8:30, and learn more about Paul Munson, Sandman Entertainment, and hopefully they let you talk about the network.
Oh, they will one way or another.
Dude, Paul, you're competing with Ohio State. That's a toss-up, man.
Yeah.
Go Bucks, baby.
Well, everybody's going to get a little food out here that came out tonight, so I'm excited for that. Billy's going to take us. Well, he's going to show us where the place is, and we're going to treat everybody to a little. It's
I
burgers,
will
right?
say,
Freddy Burgers.
I was informed that the Brick, it's just called the Brick,
The
has
Brick.
excellent burgers.
Freddy Burger.
That's what we're doing. Everybody's going to get Freddy Burger because that's what Billy says. So my positive spark is to my lovely wife for putting up with me constantly, especially this week. I have been a handful because of everything going on. So I just want to give her a shout out because with style and grace, that young lady continues to just make sure that I don't do anything stupid constantly. And if I do something stupid, she tells me about it, which is good. Because, I mean, you guys usually tell me first, and then I come home and I get to get it again. So kudos to you. And kudos to my wife. That's going to do it for the Power Hour today. Oh, yes, sir.
Do we want to break the news tomorrow about what's going to happen tomorrow?
Go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about.
At noon.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tune in tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Running Point, this guy, that guy, and the big guy with a mustache will be on Running Point. So we're going to have some fun.
The Three Stooges.
Football from 8 in the morning until midnight tomorrow right here on the network. And you can get it all kickstarted at 5 o'clock right here on YSN Primetime. We'll have the coaches. We'll have the players from Garfield. And we're excited, man, because these guys are excited to have us. We're excited to be here. So tune in tonight, 5 o'clock, YSN Primetime, live right here on YSN. Until then, wave the damn banner, Quinn.